You are the godfather of Ethio jazz. Others say state of Ethio jazz and the king of Ethio jazz. Are you comfortable with all these names?
Well, because like as I told you, now Ethio jazz is almost like 50 years. So who were around 50 years ago to do this type of music in our history, in our time, This is the question. Who were around to improvise to that beautiful 13, flat 5, all these chords, change to our modes, who were around 50 years ago. That's why most Europeans, most music intellectuals, they studied, they made the research and said that this is mulatto, that's his creation. So we call him godfather of Ethio jazz.
Your works inspired different artists in the Horn region, such as Kenan. You understand? Do you know that? You understand? Do you know that?
Yeah, it's what you probably hear, listen on TVs and on radios probably. But I tell you, I've inspired so many people in Europe, in America, in Brazil, in Australia. I have so many young and inspired Ethio jazz lovers all over the world, my friend. I'm so surprised, like you go to New York, there are a group called Ethio Jazz Group in New York, in London, there are, in Germany, there are, you go to Sweden, there are Ethio Jazz Band, you go to Denmark, there are Ethio Jazz Band, all over the world.
Okay. You have a radio program entitled Africa Jazz Mandel, right? Are you still working on that?
Yes, it's almost 25 years now.
Yeah.
We are actually, I'm one of those people who started when they started FM.
It's aired on 97.1, right?
97.1. So we are actually one of the beginning who started these FM programs in Ethiopia. Yeah.
We used to tune to it. Yeah. The Africa Jazz Mandel. Can you say that again?
Yeah. The African Jazz Mandel, the FM 97 ነጥብ አንድ ላይ እንገኛለን.
Yeah. Still you're working there, right?
I'm still working. Plenty of fans, a lot of fans.
What do you do there? I mean, what do you usually air there?
Mostly now, Ethio jazz and this is contribution. And sometimes it's like an educational and entertainment program. We talk about jazz, we play jazz music, we play Ethio jazz, and we also talk about our great contributors to music in Ethiopia. As I told you, like our great Masinko players, the great Washington players, Bagana players, Kabaro players. We feature those people. We talk about them. And I had a chance playing with great Masinko players like Geta Masai and Johannes Affork in Washington. And those type of people, we've been working together a lot.
Okay, Doctor, how do you rate your contribution to Ethiopian music industry?
Ethio jazz is one good example. And I've also done one experimental work which I called bringing the Azmaris to 21st century. So maybe you know a tune called Quantalamera, Mercy Mercy. We played on a krar, which is out of Ethiopian modes, out of the 5 notes and the 4 modes. So that was another big development, big experimental work. You see, the idea of this is not only developing the instrument, Yeah, when the instrument develops, they are developing the asthmatics, their minds. They go different. They start thinking more about different scales, different modes, different ideas. So it's not only developing the instrument, we are also developing the mind of the asthmatics.
Okay, during your stay at Harvard, you conducted a research on Makwamia, right? Can you tell us about your findings on your research?
Well, it's a very interesting research because when we talk about classic music, it's mostly we imagine Europeans and we imagine their classic music and developed everything. But most of this music, they use a conductor, especially in classic music. Now, if you take Makwamia, we used to conduct music with Makwamia before classic music or before symphony orchestra created. We used to conduct with Makwamia. So I have this great respect to Saint Yared. I'm talking about the scientific side and his contribution of Saint Yared to the music science in the world. Now, if you see the Makwamia, if you see the military marching band, probably you see the ladies, boots in front, waving.
Just show parade.
Exactly.
Military parade.
Exactly. If you just sit and watch how they conduct with this Makwamia, and if you study and then make research the movement of the Makwamia, like you can watch those ladies, their movement. Over 60 to 65% of that movement is found in Makwamia. So, where does it come from? So if you go to Harvard, if you go to Yale, you go to Princeton, if you major in conducting, you first what you study is this. We have it in Montgomery. So, which was first? So this great universities in the world, if you major in conducting, this is what you study at the beginning for conducting. So this is how this Makwamia is so serious, so interesting. It's the scientific side of it. Now you take the kabaro. The kabaro from the church music is a melody by itself, because if you don't know the chanting, I play kabaro, I play not kabaro, I play congas, I play rhythms. If you don't know the chanting, you don't know where to come in with the kabaro, yes? That shows you how the kabaro is connected to the melody, how it's connected to our chanting. So kabaro is a melody by itself. So interesting.
How do you see and rate Ethiopian music and film industry's development?
There are interesting young musicians coming up. They're trying their best. They're trying to develop it. And there are a lot of Ethiopian musicians also interested on Ethio jazz as well. I have close friends like Jorga, who is influenced by Ethio jazz. Take Abagaz, close friend, this kid working with me a lot. And Bibisha, we can mention Bibisha. Another great musician, like what influenced with Ethio jazz music. So now they are development now. They are so young Ethiopian musicians are working their best, they're working hard, they're trying to come up with something. So we're watching, my friend.
to different reputable colleges and universities to study music, and your knowledge is backed up with contemporary music science, right? Why you failed to launch a college or university here in Ethiopia?
You know, I tried to teach privately, and as I said, I have developed a lot of Ethio jazz lovers, and also I've created a music school as well. It's called African Jazz Village at Old Airport. But sometimes it was so hard to continue to work. I didn't think, you know, I had a hard time to continue with the school. And finally, they came up and they said they asked me to pay more rents, which I can't afford. So that was another way to say, get out. So I couldn't keep fighting. So what I did was, I just closed it and left. You know, that's how it stopped. But individually, privately, I was teaching. And as I said, this Ethio jazz also become big in Ethiopia, all over the world. So it's, when I think of it, you don't have to open a school. Myself, it was a school because people were following it, people were learning about it, people were loving it. So,
no need of launching.
Exactly. So it was like, it was going. But I tell you this, it was a very difficult life. So I tell you one story. Once, when I came from America. There was a big concert I was invited to play in Ethiopia. Maybe you know the Ambassador Theater. It was an Ambassador Theater. And there was this music I made, maybe if you heard of it, Kuluman Collection. It was a long time ago. It was sung by Ethio and me. It was a hit. It was a hit one. So at that concert, they asked me to do Kuluman Collection with Ethio. So I said, I refused. No, I don't play that. So what do you want to play? There was a play, you know, Tzaggai ገብረመድህን, a brother, a good friend. We've done so many work together. So he wrote a play, Petros ያችን ሰዓት, if you remember. So I wrote the music with Tzaggai. So it was bagana, krar, and all other things. So I said, no, I'm playing Petros ያችን ሰዓት. They refused. I said, what's wrong? No, you have a hit with Ethio Gessese, you should play this. No. I said, I play Petros ያችን ሰዓት. I refused. They said, okay, play. So maybe, you know, the bagana played everything. I started the music. It was an Ethio jazz feel, with bagana and everything. In other words, theater was packed with people, everything. And we start playing Petros. Then I start improvising. They said, get off from the stage. People shouting me, get off, get out. So I remember all this. I went through all this. You see, at that time, I didn't stop. I just keep going playing. I listened to the people shouting, but I keep on. I finished and stopped the music. And that way, you see, that was the time I could have said, no music for me, because they don't like me. I could have stopped, but I've never. It encouraged me more to fight them more. I said I'll show them. Took me 50 years. Look what I arrangement. My contribution of Ethio jazz to the world. This is what we've been doing. This is what they've been playing. use my compositions, I do my arrangements, and in fact, steps ahead. My group, my band now, which we travel together all over the world, and it's not only that, but there was also the Black Jesus in Australia. He played with me. Now just a new album came out in Germany now about a month ago. Big seller. Mulatu with a Black Jesus. Beautiful music. Yeah, in Germany now. Yeah.
Come on. And you've been traveling all across the world and going to different universities, colleges abroad. Can you just tell us the awards and recognition you have received from different entities?
So many. Yeah. I tell you that. So many.
Can you just mention the major one?
Let's say, I've awarded the best CD of the year, the European best CD of the year. I'm a fellow of Harvard University, the first African to receive PhD from Berkeley. So many awards, you know, and actually now it's so hard to remember most of it. I have been awarded the top grade medal from French government very soon now. It's cultural. I've awarded the Italian, by the Prime Minister of Italian government, the highest medal of the Italian government. I've been awarded in England of the best city of the year. I have so many awards, my friend. This come up to me, but I've been awarded the best things, and also now Ethiopian government, the new award now, which is a good example to encourage other Ethiopian younger musicians. I think that's
okay. Your international fans have increased after a movie entitled Broken Flowers featured 7 musics of yours, right? Can you remember us, or can you mention those musics or songs featured in that movie?
My friend, it was so interesting. It was, I think, a great privilege for me, because it was in New York. I met Jim Jarmusch. Remember, he came to my concert in New York. I was playing a beautiful concert, and I remember him coming into my dressing room, Jim Jarmusch, and after my concerts, he said, "Mulatu, I'm fan of Ethio jazz. I love your music." He said, "I love your approach, your composition, everything." So he said, "What do you think if I use your musical arrangement, compositions on my next film?" I said, "Great," because I have respect. I hear about Jim Jarmusch, big man in Hollywood, big producers, you know, Bill Murray, Sharon Stone, all this, you know. No, I said, "Great." I said, "Good." So, okay, so I'll keep in touch. Give me your phone, your email. I gave him, we exchanged in my dressing room. He left and he contacted me after 2 months. He says, "Mulatu, I'm using this, Broken Flowers." Man, when this film comes out, remember I had all kind of audience filled up. Now, most of film goers who love films start to fill up my concerts. Another more audience, additional to Ethio Jazz. Makes me big in New York, all over, in London, everywhere, you know. So keep adding my audience, keep adding of my love, my music lovers and everything. So it's, I've been successful. It was so great, my friend, so beautiful. And that's only, not only Mulatu, but also Ethiopia is mentioned all over. That was so beautiful. Once I remember also playing in Lebanon. They had Ethiopian flag up on the theaters, in front of the theaters. So when I saw that, I was so proud. So proud. It's only our flag in Lebanon. That only a lot of Ethiopian workers, they came, they hugged me, they said, we saw our flag, they were so happy. And you know, it was one of those things I really enjoy to see. And this is what I've been working on my life, to show what Ethiopia is. Because Ethiopia culture is so big in the world. We have contributed so much to the world culture and music development. But I was telling you before, but who created the Masiko? Who created the worship? Who created all these great, the Baganas? We have never given a respect and gift what they deserve as a scientist. Please, what I'm asking you, whatever you do next program and everything, give a respect. Who created and chose it to the ambassador body?
No one knows.
There is somebody, but we don't know. Who?
Anonymous.
Even now, Lebanon, Ethiopia, you go to Ethio, and it is the ambassador. This is who created this. Is the man culturally he made Ethiopia one. That's what I believe in. My hero, I respect him.
Good. You have 2 children, right?
I have 2 children.
What are they after?
Well, my daughter, she was head of the human resource of the Virgin Airlines. She still holds very good positions, and she's got 3 different degrees, masters, and my son also have 3 different masters, different subjects, and he also have a flying license as well. Very well educated, very well understanding, very great son and daughter I have, well educated, and I'm really very proud of them and happy about them.
The godfather of Ethio Jazz, Dr. Mulatu Astatke, thank you for your time. We really appreciate your presence here, and we are glad for sharing your experience. Our media, OBN, has brought you a present, which is Oromo cultural clothes. Check it out.